What if Blitz was to stay at the Hazbin Hotel as a way to redeem himself from his past questionable behaviors? With both shows having aired multiple episodes now, on top of taking place in the same version of hell as one another, it's only natural for some fans to hope a crossover between them will happen at some point in the future, even if it's just a very simple one. Granted, if we're being realistic here, I don't know how likely it could actually be, since Hell of a Boss is independently made, with every episode being uploaded to YouTube, while Hazbin is directly affiliated with major media/production companies like A24 and Amazon Prime, so issues with the rights may end up getting in the way of a proper crossover, especially in the foreseeable future, but that doesn't mean it's not fun to speculate with our own little AUs on how these characters could interact with each other in different situations. With Blitz staying at the Hazbin Hotel being a scenario I've been thinking about a lot of these past couple months. Wanted to let you guys know that this video is brought to you guys by my Patreon page and my other channel, VGMan. VGMan is a channel I've had for a bit now that I use as another creative outlet for myself to talk about video games, mostly Nintendo ones like Mario, Pokemon, or Zelda, and discuss various topics about said games, whether it be lore or ranking style videos. The Patreon is still pretty new, but it's got 2 tiers right now with perks like being able to see certain videos early, sneak peeks through thumbnails, or shoutouts in a video. I would like to open a Discord at some point too. Big thanks to Lunar, Izzy Torium, London Morse, and Draconis for becoming gold tier members. Your guys' support really means the world to me. Some already may be thinking the idea of Blitz staying at the Hazbin Hotel wouldn't make any sense because he's a hellborn imp and the Hazbin Hotel is supposed to be for sinners only. Well, that's sort of true, but not completely, because we got characters like Vaggie, who's a former exorcist, staying there. Plus, with the hotel getting a massive size upgrade at the end of season 1, who's to say Charlie wouldn't be open to the idea of having more demons outside of just sinners staying there? Because at that point, if all the sinners are going to heaven, she can still make hell a better place by improving the lives of the people who can't ascend to heaven. And just for the purpose of this video, I gotta make it work here. So first off, with how the full moon episode ended with Stolas breaking up with Blitz, which is meant to directly set up the next episode Apology Tour, this scenario of Blitz staying at the hotel would sort of serve as a replacement to the presumed events of Apology Tour, where instead of Blitz running into Verasica and again with Stolas somehow, he'd be wandering around the Pride Ring seeing advertisements for Charlie's Hazbin Hotel. His curiosity would lead him to the doorstep where perhaps a classic Charlie song would welcome him to the hotel. Maybe one similar to how the start of Hell is Forever played out, but not exactly the same, of course. Blitz, I'd imagine, would be put off by the song though, being the sarcastic grouch that he usually is. I can't see a happy, Disney-inspired song about needing to smile more doing much for him. He'd either try to avoid Charlie altogether while she kept getting in his face singing, or adding onto the lyrics in a way where he'd just be talking normally about regretting his decision or figuring out how he can get a quick drink to let off some steam. Despite being put off by the song, he would still stick around a little extra longer for Charlie to give him a quick tour of the place, introducing him to mainstay guests like Husk, Angel, Vaggie, Alistair, and Nifty, as well as what kind of programs the hotel would go through to help people improve their lifestyles. Based on how Hazbin Hotel functioned in the first season, the likelihood of Blitz gaining anything of value from the more standard team building exercises does seem a bit low. Mainly things like the trust fall exercise or things of that nature wouldn't really help push Blitz in the right direction. If anything, it would be his interactions with these other characters who aren't Charlie at first, vouching for the hotel's success as well as getting to know them more. Granted, these guys wouldn't be able to use Serpentius as a selling point because as of right now, those guys think he's just super dead. Only ones who know he's in heaven now are Sarah, Emily, and us. It feels like Blitz wouldn't have too much trouble relating to other mainstay characters at the hotel either, like Husk for instance. Both of these guys know what it feels like to be chained down by another demon more powerful than them, albeit Husk's situation is more serious because Alistair owns his soul and can take it apart whenever he wants if he chooses to do so, whereas Blitz and Stolas' transactional relationship involved sex in exchange for IMP being allowed to go to Earth for their business. Even still, we've been shown explicitly in Hazbin episode 4 that Husk has been able to do a decent job at relating to others who are in similar situations to him, like Angel. Husk would be able to relate to Blitz just as much, if not more, when you add on to the fact that these two guys were once in much more ideal positions in life than they are now. Husk being a former overlord and Blitz being a performer. Sure, Blitz has been able to find enjoyment in his current line of work and doesn't necessarily have a desire to go back to the show business right now. I'm mostly referring to the fact that while Blitz was in the circus prior to the fire that crippled Fizz and killed his mother, it seemed like he was living a much happier lifestyle in general. Lots of evidence and subtext within Hell of a Boss seem to support the idea of the fire being the main reason why Blitz's life went to shit and he started pushing everyone away. Seeing Husk and Blitz just shooting the shit a little while throwing back some drinks is awesome just to even think about. Charlie is another one he could relate to later on, on when it comes to the daddy issues department. We know how much both of these shows love to tackle characters having issues with their fathers, though to be honest, I'm not sure if Blitz would ever want to reconcile with his father. We actually don't even know if that guy is alive currently. I'm sure he is, but to be honest, with him being as emotionally manipulative as he was to Blitz in the past, I'm not sure if I can see those two making up. Charlie's case was a bit different because Lucifer always did love his daughter and was shown being pretty close with her in the distant past, but Lilith's disappearance seemed to be what set him down the path of depression, to the point where he'd almost never leave his house, let alone properly spend time with his daughter. Angel, I think, would fall in a similar boat to Husk when it comes to relating with Blitz, because he's also being owned by somebody, that being the despicable Valentino. Vaggie, I guess he could relate to when it comes to fighting. Vaggie doesn't really get enjoyment out of killing people anymore unless they threaten the ones she's close to, whereas Blitz does seem to enjoy killing humans. Perhaps the two of them could spar together or something? I don't know. Alistair and Nifty's interactions with Blitz would likely be kept to a minimum. As cool as it sounds for Alistair to be talking to Blitz a lot, it's hard for me to see a reality where these two characters really have much to talk about at all. Blitz would probably make fun of Alistair's strange demeanor, then get freaked out if Alistair was to show off more of his power, and just like everyone else in the hotel, Nifty would probably give Blitz some weird vibes too.
I'm ready to punish some bad boys.
These events with Blitz in the hotel would only span across the time of one episode length, by the way, 25 minutes at most. That's usually how these kinds of crossovers work anyway. They don't really bleed into multiple episodes that would air one after another. We've gotten crossover sequels in other cartoons before, most notably the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour specials, but those three specials weren't airing one after another and contained their own unique stories each time. For shows like Hazbin and Helva, it wouldn't make any sense for Blitz to be staying at the hotel for an extended period of time, to the point where he'd be away from the other IMP guys for several days on end. The hotel working more of as a way for him to blow off steam for a night while learning some more about himself and how he could earn back the trust of those he's screwed over in the past, like Verosika and especially Stolas. Maybe instead of showing off every specific thing Blitz is doing, we get some montage scenes throughout his time there where he's slowly but surely warming up to the hotel's methods, like another instance where those guys participate in a territory war, only Blitz is helping them too. Eventually reaching a point where Blitz starts to get really emotional, scared how he is going to be able to face those he's wronged, and how they may not forgive him no matter how hard he tries or how much he apologizes. Charlie would catch wind of this, where another song could ensue. One a lot less cheerful in demeanor and tone, yet providing a positive enough message to get Blitz's head back in the game. I'd imagine it being like a similar version of the It Starts With Sorry song that Charlie and Serpentius sang together, but not directly word for word the same lyrics. Because in reality, those guys technically don't owe Blitz any forgiveness, but if he can accept the fact that he's done what he can and is still striving to be a better person, that should hopefully be enough for him to want to continue to move forward on this path of redemption. Yeah, Blitz's stay at the hotel would be a quick one, but still helpful overall. On his way out, he'd either be leaving on his own or the IMP crew comes to pick him up. I could see Blitz casually calling or texting Luna at some point while he was there, letting her know where he is and how he might need help getting back. The M&Ms realistically have no reason to show up there. It's just fun to think about them meeting face to face with the other Hazbin crew, even if it's just for a brief moment. Regardless of how Blitz specifically leaves, he's going to see Stolas afterwards, no question, apologizing for how he acted during their last conversation and how he wasn't sure how to handle it. Stolas may be giving an apology of his own too, because I still think he shut down and cut Blitz out a bit too quickly at the end of said conversation, allowing for those two to reach more of an understanding for the time being, but maybe not necessarily going straight into being boyfriends once they make up here. That's something that'd be a bit too fast for me, even for usual Helliverse pacing. It'd feel like more of a payoff if it happened after Stolas dealt with the Ars Goetia stuff involving Stella and Drelphus and Octavia. But yeah, this is a concept I thought was pretty interesting. If you guys have any other ideas about how events of Blitz staying at the hotel would go down, definitely be sure to tell me in the comments below, or even if you have any other ideas about how a crossover could work between these two shows. I would love to know your thoughts. Quick shout out to Janky Bones for the awesome artwork for this video's thumbnail. Their socials will be in the description down below. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out, take care, bye-bye.